Hiking in the mountains is my favorite type of vacation. It is one of the best ways to be close to nature and enjoy its beauty. Apart from the fresh air and fascinating scenery, a rich variety of plants and animals also provides a wonderful way for urban residents to explore natural life. One of my favorite mountains is Mount Kinabalu in Malaysia. Towering at 4,095 meters, it is the third highest peak of an island on Earth. I went there during the national holiday of 2018, which was in the dry season, and the weather was perfect there in Malaysia. It was in total a 2-day and 1-night trip. In the first day, I spent almost 7 hours climbing from the foot to the overnight stop, where offered accommodations and restaurants with hot meals for climbers. And I met so many hiking enthusiasts from all over the world there. We shared hiking skills and encouraged each other, even when we were just total strangers initially. And after a short night's rest, we started around 2 o'clock in the next morning. As I clearly remembered, it was completely freezing darkness outside, and the final part of the route to the summit was full of cliffs. So we sent along a very long cord which was hanging down from the peak, so that we could pull on it all the way up, especially over the steeper terrain. And finally, we successfully arrived at our destination around 5 o'clock in the morning, which was exactly the right moment to catch the sunrise. And here comes the best part. I remembered in an almost sacred manner the dawn of a brandly new day unfolded before me, and I saw the sunlight gradually spread over the peak. It was a guaranteed magical moment of my life. I felt like standing on the top of the world and seeing other lower mountains hiding in the clouds and small villages far, far away on the foot. I suddenly could see the world and my life from a different angle. I guess that's the reason why I love hiking in the mountains.
The best vacation I had in my life so far was in the summer of 2007 when I traveled to Australia. I was a fresh college graduate, and so I was bouncing off the walls before I boarded the plane all the way across to the southern hemisphere. Before the trip, I applied to work as a volunteer with an organization called Conservation Volunteers Australia. So I reported myself to their Sydney office as soon as I arrived. Since Australian seasons are opposite from China, I left Beijing in a searing hot summer day and arrived in Sydney surrounded by crisp chilly winds. I wouldn't say it was freezing cold in the winter of Australia. It was definitely a bit nippy, just looking kind of gloomy and wintry in the sky. As soon as we settled down, we hopped in a van with a team leader who drove us deep into the Blue Mountains, and we started working right away. The first few days, I was assigned a task of planting baby saplings, small young trees who were tiny like this with a slender trunk. And then the next few days, we cooperated together to build a trekking trail on a steep slope for hikers. I've never done any hard manual labor like that, so the tasks of carrying heavy pieces of wood and drilling holes in the rocky soil were extremely strenuous for me. Fortunately, there was a French guy who came to help me, and who later on became my husband, by the way. That was the most breathtaking and romantic encounter I had in my life when, during our little breaks, we sat down together on a ledge with our feet dangling in the air and just taking in the gorgeous views. Around us, there were incredible rock formations, fantastic waterfalls in the distance, and the most picturesque rolling valleys backed by the mountains. Oftentimes, we were just fully immersed in the moment with a feeling of awe and amazement. Back then, both of us applied to work as conservation volunteers because we cared about environmental protection and would like to contribute our share in making the world a better place. Even though it may sound like dropping the ocean what we did, we firmly believed that our actions, along with those of others, would have a ripple effect in the long run.